I'm Helena Post. I'm a self-taught spinster, weaver, fibre artist. Self-taught not out of choice, perhaps. Self-taught out of rejection, really, because I was a little bit different when I learnt to spin from the Spinners and Weavers Guild, who were kind of grannies and a bit grumpy. And anyway, that's a long story. Didn't mean to go there. But spinning was definitely my gateway drug into improvisation, making stuff up, and realizing how much there is to explore that we don't, because we get all hung up on this is how we knit, this is how we crochet. So everything on this over here, I've spun or and crocheted or felted or from various fleeces and creatures, including myself. I harvest my hair when I brush it. I harvested my hair this morning and I turned it into a plague doctor's mask. But I can, go into the details. All this stuff I'm hoping to make a podcast. Hi. And all this is my studio. All this stuff I've spun and woven and crocheted and whatever I've made. Some things longer than others. They're all a bit weird, to be honest. I only really make things once. I don't like to make the same thing twice. So I've done a lot of sculptures. Here there's lots of stories. But as spinning was where it all started, I thought I would share with you a story about spinning that demonstrates my point about teaching yourself is a really good way to learn. Okay, here we go. When I was 30, as a birthing present for my first son and second child, Griffin, being born, my mother, who got her first spinning wheel when she was 30, gave me my first spinning wheel. And she basically brought this beautiful spinning wheel. We were living in a church camp at that time, and put it down in front of me, and she said, spin clockwise, ply anti-clockwise, learn when to stop, and then walked out, and that was it. And I just was enamored with it instantly, and decided, instead of going to a guild and looking like a bit of a dill, I was going to give it a go and try and work it out for myself. So I sat up till 2 o'clock in the morning for a while, just pedaling the wheel, feeling it out, giving it a go, until I felt like I was doing it good enough to go along to the guild. And then I got to the guild and I was a bit weird. So they ignored me 3 months. That pretty much didn't chat to me. And I just went, well, I'll just keep going my own way then, shall I? Because I've done all right up till now. And I kept teaching myself how to spin. And as I kind of ended up getting on with a few of the people at the guild, and I hosted a learn to spin course in the church that we were living in, or around in the old camp. It's hard not to be a bit distracted. So this is the actual beauty of spinning, and this is probably the first gift that spinning gave me. Sitting there till 2 o'clock was you're literally and metaphysically feeling. I might bring the camera over here so that you can see what I'm doing so feeling. Yeah. it literally brought me into my feelings. And once you've spun a yarn, you can't go to Spotlight and get a pattern because it's hand spun. It's all lumpy and bumpy. I mean, it's not now because I've been spinning too long. I try and make it perfect, which really sucks. But back to the story. You can't just pick up a pattern. So I had to kind of make stuff up. And at the same time, I was kind of relearning how to crochet. I had this hand spun yarn. It was, I made it myself and I taught myself how to do it. So I started off just making hats and scarves, the old simple. And I had knitted and crocheted, but it was under duress because I was brought up a Mormon and I was meant to be a good housewife and knit and crochet and embroider. So, of course, as soon as I got away from all of that, I didn't do any of the things. And I tried not to cook where, but that didn't work well until go on. And didn't kind of do the wifely stuff because, like, I was a big bisexual and 6'1", I was going my own way. And spinning prompted me to relearn how I had knitted a few things and followed patterns. It was boring. I tried crocheting. Yeah, I found that really hard. So, faced with my first ball of yarn, I decided I was going to reteach myself how to crochet and do a beanie and a scarf, the simple things, and work out what I could do with it. I'd also been gifted really large crochet hooks. So I was having a play around with that because I wasn't going to a guild. So I wasn't like, oh, well, I was, but they were ignoring me. So I wasn't learning all the rules. And I was doing it my own way. So that was like, the beginning of realizing that there's a whole bunch more to fiber and creativity than I'd previously thought with the introduction of the spinning wheel. And then I went on to keep exploring and also learning about the history. And like essentially spinning was something that every single person either did or knew somebody who did because like pretty much every continent, we needed clothes. That was one of our earliest things, and came up with a whole bunch of different ways to spin. This is a very European spinning wheel and a recent kind of development, but before that it was thighs and it was, a whole bunch of different drop spindles just by hand turning it into rope or yarn, which I've really enjoyed doing. It was a really big thing all around the planet. In Europe, I'm going to kind of focus mainly on Europe because even though every continent has a rich textile culture and heritage and stories, I know the most about the European. So we're going to kind of stick with that one. So it was massive, and it was like, whole towns involved in shepherding the sheep, looking after them, shearing them, spinning the fleece, weaving it, all the different things that we've done with animal and plant fibres in our history to make our sheets and our clothes and everything has all been done by hand for most. So it was a really big thing. And in Europe, there were guilds and, they'd have parades, massive parades, and they had banners and standards and riding on horses, and it'd be going for miles, all the dyers, the weavers, all the different trades involved in making textiles. And then the Industrial Revolution happened, and there's a lot more to that story that I'd love to go into at some point. But that was kind of it, really, for like the spinning and the crochet and the weaving and all of that. It all became machine done, and we slowly lost contact with all of it till, And here's my origin story. If spinning is like the beginning of like the teaching myself, this is the origin story of teaching yourself for me anyway. And it starts in New Zealand in the Second World War. So I might pause here and bring the camera over here so that you can see what I'm doing, because it's pretty cool. It's very meditative. Like, it's an interesting way to choose to start a podcast spinning because I'm slightly distracted, but we'll see how we go with. So hopefully you can see. Yeah, you'll be able to see. So I'm going to keep going. Origin story is Aileen Stace, Second World War in New Zealand. She's an amazing woman. I'm going to have to post a link to the page about her. She absolutely incredible. She had, she couldn't get around too well, so she had this 3-wheeled motorcycle car thing that she rode around and everybody knew her. She's a really cool woman. But back to our story, and story I've been telling for years, because it demonstrates how basically, like I was saying before, we had these guilds and all these trades, and nobody thought that there'd ever be a day when we didn't have spinners, weavers, dyers, and all the rest of it. But then the Industrial Revolution happened. Quick recap. Let's pretend we had an ad. And to the point, the Industrial Revolution, that we lost contact with spinning and weaving and all of the trades that we used to know, because that was how we were getting our clothes and textiles. So, Second World War, Aileen Stace, and they wanted to knit things for the men on the front and women, and ran out of wool. And she's asked, a local, I don't know, leader of some kind, like, my word, see, because I'm half focused on what is happening in my hands. And I mean, if you can see any detail, I've got some short bits that I'm kind of navigating. I'm used to short bits after, because I just pull my fleeces straight out of the bag, straight from, bits of grass and dirt and sun and everything in there. And that's something that spinners aren't meant to do, but that's another story. So I keep getting distracted because I'm spinning, and it's like the coolest meditation, mindfulness, allowing your subconscious and everything to kind of come to the surface, because you've shut your jabbery mind up. Anyway, she's looking for wool, couldn't find any wool, and went to a local guy, said, we need some wool. And he went, lady, there's a war on. We can't get any wool. So she thought to herself, well, we're in New Zealand. There's all these sheep. And she'd seen a spinning wheel somewhere. It was like an antique in somebody's room or house. And she thought, we'll make a few of those and we'll teach ourselves how to spin. So we're getting back to my story now, because she taught herself how to spin, looked for information, but there's no information on how to spin, because it used to be something that was part of a whole village's worth of knowledge, and the details weren't written down, so they just had to make it up. They made themselves some spinning wheels, they taught themselves how to spin, and they went on to save the lives of people in the Navy, because like the lanolin in their sheep wool jumpers, when they fell overboard, it kind of insulated them, kept them warmer and cooler, all of that. And they loved it so much, spinning and making things, that they, when the war ended, they found an orphanage in Scotland and they knitted all the kiddies beanies and scarves and mittens. So she's taught so many people how to spin, having taught herself, because there's no information on how to spin, that the Queen gave her an MBE. Which is very cool, and has also the authoress of my favourite ever quote, because she said in her book Twisted Treasures, I was looking for it so I could show you, but I can't remember where I put it. And in there she said people want to buy our hand spun goodies all the time, and we tell them spinning's not something you buy, spinning's something you do. So the whole point of that is there is no proper way to spin. There is no proper way to spin. There's only your way to work out. And you can work that out however you want. Just get a feel for the wheel and feel your way into it. I did. It wasn't through choice, but I'm really glad it happened now, because in teaching myself to spin and weave and crochet, I've come up with some really cool and unique things that you're not meant to do, because they're the wrong things and not the right way, whatever. I'm a bit nervous doing this podcast. To be fair, I will get there. I'm looking forward to showing you a whole bunch of philosophical yarns, and that is the first one, and my origin story. And essentially I'm trying to say that teach yourself everything, because there's worlds and worlds left to be explored that we haven't, because we're all busy trying to do things the proper way. And there's no right way, there's literally just your way to work out. So I think I'm going to leave it here for now. I'll move out from this view anyway. I hope I made sense of that story. I will get better and more focused, probably a lot more focused if I'm not spinning at the same time, to be fair. To start with, welcome to my podcast. I want to explain all these things to you at some point. I have a very long blog. I would love to read you pieces of my blog. I love to answer questions. I'm up for challenges. If you say, do you reckon you can make this, and I like the idea, I will give it a go. Philosophy, fibre, mending, weaving, spinning, needle felting, dogs barking. Welcome to my podcast, Self-Taught and Unruly. Hit like, subscribe, and make the bell ring. Isn't that what you meant to say? And keep coming back. I hope to have fun. That's all good. So we're talking about harvesting human hair, which is when you brush it, basically, and then you pull the fluff out. This is a ball I prepared earlier.
This is what I prepared earlier.
And I reckon I'm the only human that can say I've got a fur ball.
That's awesome. So is this stuff that you've like? If only they came out that neat though. My cat does not come out like that.
No,
so you did this on a spindle?
No. So this is how I do it. This is. I'll pop it down there. Yeah. So this is. I've pulled this. I just brushed my hair this morning.
Oh, beautiful.
And this is what I've already pulled it apart. Sorry,
I was gonna say it looks so neat.
Oh my God. So I just like, and there's bits of fluff, and that's part of the we do, especially with dreads. Oh my God. So I just kind of pull it apart, and then
it looks so neat and beautiful.
Kind of double it, and then we start up here, and this So the cool thing about this, and the reason why I call it Zen spinning, is because this is the equal and opposite that creates every yarn. So I'm laying it over the top, like so.
Kind of
So
almost looks like
these,
you're doing a magic knot almost. No?
yeah. So you're just kind of joining that in, and I'm twisting
twisting them together,
twisting it forward and moving it backward, and that gives it the balance. Because I'm going, if we put it
and you
here,
just keep separating it.
Well,
And
twist it up and then move it down, and I twist it up and move it down. It's like, or you could tie it to something and you're going twisting it right and then moving it left, and the equal and opposite between those two means that it doesn't unravel. You know how when you twist your hair and it instantly unspins?
Yeah, I've always wanted to know how to do that.
Because you're doing the two at the same time. So I just find it easier holding it that way. I'll twist it up and move it down. So it's the two.
Okay, I might have a go if that's right.
Yeah.
So I'll grab those two and something like that. That's how I hold my yarn.
Absolutely.
So twist it, it's up.
Yeah.
I didn't get a good twist.
Kind of three roughly.
Maybe one more. I didn't do a good twist to begin with. And then I feel like I've got to forget this can get tangled.
And then do the same with that, and then move it back. You don't have to do too many. It's just like a big roll up.
And see, I've got tiny little short fabric.
That's perfect. So you're twisting it up and moving it down, or going right and then left. Yeah, and every now and then you keep them separated.
Maybe. Well, that wasn't good. That'll be.
Yeah. And however it works for you, you're making rope. Or yarn, that's also called twine, because you're literally twisting. And because you're twisting it forward and moving it back, or twisting up and then coming down, you're combining forward and backward, left and right to make balance. Because if you go right, it's going to be over twisted. So all the yarns that you spin that you crochet with have all been twisted like that way, and that's the ply. So if there's 8 threads that are, being
8 plies, 8 threads being twisted,
and they have to
go. So you can do this with how many could you do this with? How many threads could you?
Well, so like the whole shipping, that really thick rope, they wouldn't have got hair obviously, but they like doubled. And then with this, you do that forward, and then you can see that's instantly thicker.
Ah, right, like that real hard, like plastic.
So like
rope.
10 pliers, like 10 threads being twisted as one to create this balance, the forward and back, the up and the down, whichever it is, they're the polar opposites that create balance. Yeah, we got a bit retwisted.
I was gonna say, I feel like I got distracted. I'm gonna give you.
And then it it untwists, and that's kind of the Zen form of spinning. So that's all my hair.
Damn.
That I've.
See, then you look at that, and it's like that's a lot of fucking hair.
It is.
That's a lot of hair. That's a lot of hair.
It is.
So how long has this taken you?
Menopause.
Oh, no.
My hair started falling out. It looks like I've got a lot, but it's not as much as it was.
You have a lot more?
Because it got brushed out.
How long of collecting is this?
Good 7 years. I started off collecting it when Merlin got leukemia, and we got shipped to Brisbane in a hurry from the Northern Rivers, where we're living this alternative lifestyle. And I was in hospital literally for 2 months with him, and that's when my hair started falling out. And we were doing chemo, and just felt really wrong. He was doing. I'd have chuck it in the bin.
Yeah, you felt like a waste. Like, you can do something with this, right?
And absolutely. And I'd always they heard. We're just filming right now. Can you not just for a second? Sorry. I'd heard those stories about Native Americans having long hair and cutting it, they'd lose. Well, there was, I don't know if it was true or if it was just one of those stories, but like
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
in the army they got them to cut their hair and they couldn't track as well, so they won't actually keep growing their hair because its hair has memory of where you've been and what you've been doing and all the rest of it. So I didn't want to chuck it in the bin, and it goes into waste with all this other hospital crap. It just didn't seem right, so I collected it, and I had a bag full of like,
just like the scrumptious from your hairbrushes.
Literally just had like little kind of almost felted balls of hair that I just shoved in a bag because I didn't know what else to do with it. And then I'm like, you know what? All the energy, all the memory, all the experiences that went into that hair, I don't want to do nothing. Imagine if I did this, turn it into rope, and then do stuff like that. And I didn't actually plan to make a plague doctor mask.
So what started that there?
That was uni. We're doing an assignment, and we had to use something. Well, we should get back down because we're headless.
Nearly headless.
So we had to use something in an unconventional manner using skills that we were used to, and we did a series of experiments to kind of go from making things we knew about to things we had no idea about, to see comfort zones, what we learned, and that was really interesting. But this is my first one, so I was going to call it COVID. Because people were doing all sorts of whack shit.
Oh, hell yeah, they were.
They really were freaking out. But this has also got, see, this little blonde hair. That's when Merlin's hair started falling out with chemo. And I put some of that in there too. So there's, when I first opened, because this was just a massive ball, like I had all my bits of hair and then I turned it all into rope. And I had this ball this big. And the woman at uni I've met, and she's the first thing she's gone, I'm an artist and I make hair balls, and she's pulled out a ball. It was felted, it wasn't like rope, but I've gone, oh my God. So had this big ball, and when I undid it right at the beginning, I could smell chemo and hospital in the dust. It was wild. It was like in the middle of the ball, all those years that have been sat there.
Holy crap, still have that scent.
And then it was wild. And then I turned it into a plague doctor's mask, because that's the last thing you use hair for.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a little bit of a nod to like the hair shirts. Did you ever hear about hair shirts? It was a weird bloody religious medieval thing. They'd get hair, like literally hair woven shirts that were scratchy and itchy, and gave them sores as like a payment and a penance, because they were paying for their evil, being born evil and their sin and all that shit. So we kind of did that to ourselves during COVID, really. We all kind of punished ourselves a bit. And I ended up calling it a breath of fresh air. Air. And this is...
That's so cool.
It's pretty... I reckon...
I feel like you need to adjust your glasses to the holes. I feel like you need to adjust.
There you go.
Wow, that is like so like thick. Like
it is.
It's got
it's
so
really
much like shape.
And it does.
How's
it's
it
got
so much? Is it this like how you've done it? Obviously, the shape.
Do you know?
Like a triangle.
So I look like a brown womble.
Now you're gonna have to get out.
So the shape in there is a lampshade.
You've got something in there.
See, that's where the light globe went.
That's perfect.
That was
my God.
a lampshade that gave me light in times of darkness.
Yeah.
Like literally,
so
this
such
lamp.
A meaningful piece
It
of
really
art.
is. It totally is.
Holy crap.
And they were burning it, and I've seen that and gone, oh my God, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And then I stuck a bit of wire on the end.
Oh, wow.
And there she blows, a breath of fresh air.
There she blows.
So it ended up being incredibly meaningful and significant and great thing to do. I was going to turn it into a belt. I was going to be a journeywoman's belt. because that was a European tradition. When an apprentice had finished their trade, they'd take a belt with their tools. So if they're a stonemason, their hammers and their anvils, and they'd go off with no money, nothing, unprepared. Do you watch manga?
Manga? No, I don't really watch TV.
Oh, there's a Kiki's delivery service. Is this gorgeous little, and she's a little witch, and she's got to go off. Her initiation is going off on a broom, and she's got to find herself in a town of strangers and make her way as a witch. So yeah, but Freemasons, yeah, it's Freemasons, stonemasons. Well, that is where Freemasons originated from. Is stonemasons. I saw. I'm going off track, but I saw this thing. This guy, Mormon, and he is a Freemason. I got one of my best friends in the world is kind of. She's part of the Freemasons. There's really good ones and really shit ones, like with everything.
Okay, look, I know what stonemasons are, but I got to tell you, Helena, what is a freaking Freemason?
Freemason?
I don't know what that is.
So that's like the Masonic Lodge, the oldest kind of old boys club in the world, ultimately. But women were part of it too. Yeah, it's an old religious.
Yeah, I need more detail.
And they were the stonemasons who built the pyramids of Egypt. Is the legend is kind of the there's a lot more to it, but the big story is the stonemasons who built the pyramids of Egypt. Like they knew some tricky ass shit to be able to do it. We still don't understand. They were the magicians, the alchemists, the hermetics, ultimately, who knew how to build, and so they kind of formed this lodge, this club, where you move up through the lodge if you know things and you get initiated into secrets, and it kind of based on Hermeticism, which is the oldest religion in the world, and alchemists. So they were doing alchemy with stone in a funny way, So in the Freemason Lodge, like I watched this, and their most sacred thing is like the trestle table so the stonemasons who were out in the field, and they had to take the measurements to build the pyramids. They'd have their trestle table and their tools, to work out the diameters and all that shit. And they have literally gold trestle tables ornate. But that's the tools of the trade. They were the tools of the stonemasons, absolutely, to do the alchemy that they did. Yeah. How did we get to Freemason?
But this is amazing. This is awesome. But
so this is a breath of fresh air.
Breath of fresh air.
And it was meant to be a journeywoman built. That's how we got to the whole stonemason.
Journeywoman.
And I was gonna crochet myself a belt and put all my crochet hooks in it.
That'd be so wicked.
And go out into the world and find a problem and fix it with crochet.
That would be awesome.
Do you need a plague doctor's mask? Here, I'll harvest my hair into with crochet. We'll make a plague doctor's mask with crochet. I made Griffin a gun holster when he's
really?
4 and he's really into guns. And we're hippies, and we got this kid that wants to shoot everything.
So
and we're
like, here's a gun.
No, we're telling him, you're shooting love. It's not love. I'm shooting bullets.
I'm shooting bullets. It's crime. I want to shoot things, not love people.
So I've crocheted him a gun holster because I'm trying to get in with it. You can shoot love. Crochet spider webs or crochet tails.
Tails, yes.
Tails, everything. Lots of willies. All sorts of these weird critters hanging out. That's all crochet. Dazzle the pony.
I love that. I love his hair.
Gus.
Is that a felting thing?
His hair. That's just,
or just hair?
Do you know loopy stitch?
No, I don't think so.
That's when you crochet. Oh, I could show you.
As well.
Let's do a little demo. So if you're just get back here.
Get back here.
You're just crocheting along, and you want to make didn't do that well, and you want to make a mane, or oh my god, it's harder than I probably should have got a smaller. Say crocheting And you want to make like a yeah, why not? And you want to make like a loopy kind of mane or ruffle. So then we go back and we go in here and we go to crochet. And then when we loop it, see how I've got it looped around, and we pull it through.
Whoa.
And then stick that there.
Oh, that looks so fucking technical.
And then, so it just, you can go, I haven't done it for a while. And then that over the top. Yeah, I'm not showing you very well.
This is the most complicated stitch I've ever seen in my life. I
could have done it a lot better if I had. I probably shouldn't be trying to show you. So just instead of like going here and you're grabbing, say, are you making it like a rabbit ear?
Yeah, but then you're making a million loops. So what are you doing with all these fucking loops?
Yeah, well then when you got all the loops, then
it does
you
look
cut
like
it.
A bumblebee.
You cut it.
Oh.
And then you end up with that.
Oh, that's what that does. Oh, right.
So you put all these loops into your crochet.
That's fucking
and then
sick.
cut it.
So you make like an individual mane and then attach it so it almost.
Well, it's just, I literally just did that and then cut it. So it's attached. It's not going to fall out, but you can cut it and you've got a mane.
That's so cool.
Or you can leave it loopy and make a really wild texture. Like if you did it with a really fine crochet cotton, you could, you know, those towels that are all loopy?
Yeah.
Oh. And just leave it loopy and then it kind of gives it, yeah. So there you go. That's
awesome.
And that's the kind of Zen. I can't pull it apart now. It's got tangled. Oh, my hair got tangled.
What will you do? You can't just cut it. It's not that simple. Oh,
we did it.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, I hate detangling yarn. I'm terrible.
So when you're spinning on a wheel, right? So you spin clockwise, and then if you left it, it would be all twisty. But then you unspin it. You get two and unspin it. So that's two ply. What I was telling you, and you've plied it the other way to give it that balance, so it's straight and it doesn't just twist up. But this is like, you can, you can do that on a spinning wheel or you can do it on your hands, exactly what we just did then. And we did with our hands, you could do on a spinning wheel in a very complicated way.
Yeah.
Or literally all of that at its basis is just this. And it's keep them separated. And it's all that. And so, do you get what I'm saying? Like if I was spinning,
you can twist so much better with your fingers. I feel like I don't have that grip.
It's a bit of grease. Run it through your hair. You know, they used to do that with pins. If they wanted their pins to go in, I'd seen, and they'd rub it in their hair, get a bit of hair oil.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have that same. I can't twist as well. I don't know.
I've been doing it a really long time, and I really like it. And that twist. So I could on a spinning wheel, you know, spin like those things. So that's a bobbin. So you spin one all and it goes clockwise. So it's all just spinning it this way. And you keep going and make a whole bobbin. And you do another one that's all twisting that way. And then you unspin them the other way together so they're not over twisted. Yeah. Complicated. So you can do that or you can just do this. And in that simple action, you got both the up and the down and the forward and the back in the one. We should probably let you get to your man.
I feel like Joanne's probably like,
what the hell is going on? Thank you so much. Because
you're very welcome.
You're amazing. And I hope.
Oh, you're amazing. Come here. Would you come upstairs and try one of my pickies?
Yeah.
Thank you to whoever's watching.
And thanks. I'm a Helen Post. I'm mother of 8 children. Been many things in my life, but most recently, self-taught fibre artist, self-taught everything. I'm basically taught myself everything that I've remembered or that I value. And very much enjoyed it. And my gateway drug to improvisation and creativity and the default mode network, as I learnt at university, has been spinning. Spinning was the first experience that opened me up to my feelings, to mindfulness, to the active and purposeful meditation of spinning and then making things out of the yarn, physical and metaphysical, that you spin. So all these things I've spun. You can see a bit up the top there is Frisian, which is like the top of the Nederlands. It's Fries are a very ancient race with their own language, where Frisian cows come from, Frisian horses, and they have Fries witwork, which is white on white, which often wasn't white on white, as it turns out, and that was an assignment I did at university in Fries witwork style, and it's got, I have to show you detail to make that interesting. Dazzled pony, all crocheted, and moss and nettle. They're needle felted. Moss is made from pieces of alpaca that I put in stockings and in the washing machine, and had all these long, interesting pieces of felt that I turned into moss. And same with nettle. They were kind of machine felted, but not as it sounds, like washing machine in a stocking felted. And pusses, they're cozy pussies because there's 20 tentacles, and they're penapusses. Just behind me, there's a full of hair from my head. As I harvest my hair, I've got that pot back there with a spot. Ceramic pot is full of cat hair that I harvest. Got a cat over, well, I've got a few cats that live in here, and when they've been on the lounge or when I've given them a scratch, and there's lots of fluff, I collect it and I'm going to spin it. I can do that with people sometimes. Yeah. So I've made it up. Oh, harvesting. I was going to explain my hair. This is crochet. I've got dreadlocks, and I've actually crocheted them to do that. And this is rope or yarn. This is like the I always had long hair as a girl and wanted to twist it, but it would never, it always untwisted really quick. And when you learn the magic of twine or rope, twining is like the Zen form of spinning. What you do, it's complicated. I better not get too complicated. So my hair, I've twisted using one of my favorite things in the world, which is paradox. So the equal and opposite, the two opposites creating a unity. Paradox is my hair that's been twisted and stays twisted in rope because it's perfectly balanced with the equal and opposite twist. So I'll twist it forwards, and yeah, complicated again. There's lots of things I'd like to talk about. All this stuff was crocheted with, this is my little tool pouch. I made this many years, probably like 20 years, long time ago. And it's a mushroom that, woo, and also can be unbuttoned. So this is my toolkit. These are the crochet hooks, and they all, as you can imagine, have a story. Every single one of them. And I use all of these hooks because I did, got kind of roundly. Rejection has been the theme of my life, and I've only just realised how cool that is and how all that rejection actually built me, because I had to go my own way and find my own way of doing everything, and didn't even know that I broke so many rules in the, you know, proper way of doing things. I've got a story about Aileen Stace that explains how there is no proper way of doing anything. It's just your way to find, and however you find that, whatever works for you, is the way you do it. So I use these crochet hooks because, like I said, got roundly rejected by guilds, family, so many groups. So I just kept going, well, I'll just do it myself then. And I'm really glad I did, because I use all those hooks to make, this is my project of the moment. It's a necklace, and if you can see, that is all shaped with those hooks. It's gonna look really cool. Like, it's pretty much, hang on, I think I have to go back to see. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but you can't anyway. I'll probably try and work out a better way to show you that too. So I do things my own way, and it's unique. I love combining knitting and crochet and weaving, all of them. There's so many things you can do when you're not hung up on the right way to do things. And there is definitely, people have found their right way of doing things. It doesn't mean it's the only way. And the story I tell about Aileen Stace is a perfect example of that. So I'm just trying to, I don't know, get all the close up. I want to start a podcast. I would really like to get, I had an impromptu guest stop in on this day when I did my first recording, and she was awesome, and we had a ball, and I'm hoping things like that happen. I'd really like to tell you the yarns about my yarns. There's a lot more things you'll see in, love this lounge. Thank you, Nicole. They were moving and she loved it, but it's just totally finished off my set. I've been building this set for a while because I would love, I've just had so many realizations recently. One being, I've been looking for a hierarchy to climb for 25 years now, looking for a Gilda magazine, group, festival, publisher, everything I can think of, and not had great results, to be fair, not had great experiences, a lot of rejection, but every rejection built me and grew me unique and new and steered me in directions I wouldn't have gone without that experience. So I've come to a realization that I'm actually really glad I got rejected. I was really stuck in feeling hurt for a long time. Fair enough, fair call. But like, in equal and oppositesville, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, or paradox. Love paradox. I'm the most together Fruit Loop. I'm a totally honest fraud. I think everybody has hypocrisies or paradoxes within them and makes us very uncomfortable. Paradox is when you can hold two opposites at the same time and see them as like a unity, or two halves of a whole, because we're all shadow and light. Really into Jung and hermeticism. Thank you, Senna. and really into Heraclitus. You know, he was a Greek philosopher. He died in a stupid death. If you've ever watched Horrible Histories, a very ignoble, stupid death. I'm sorry, Heraclitus, but you did. I don't even want to say it, but he's the father of one of my favourite streams of philosophy, where he talks about every pair of opposites is a unity because it's a dynamic interplay between the two that creates growth and evolution and learning. And that's definitely been my experience. We all are shadow and light, and I don't know how. I will save the deep for later. We'll start off with paradox, being able to hold. So, getting back to the original point, rejection has actually created the most amazing empowerment, because I've taught myself how to do a whole bunch of things that I wouldn't have without having been rejected. So, yeah, welcome. I hope you enjoy. I hope to talk about a lot of things. We'll see how it goes.